Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Shorty Looks At. Today we are going to look at the new. Why does it say 88? What? Um, we are going to be looking at Medivh, the newest playable character. Right now, he is available in the PTR, and I thought we'd jump in, take a look at his talents, see what kind of builds we can do, strategies, comps, things like that. I've never looked at the character before, except for obvious online. Updates and notes and things like that, patch stuff. So let's take a look at him. Medivh is a ranged specialist character, so he isn't classified in the support role that we normally would see, and instead they gave him specialist because he doesn't deal with healing whatsoever. He can protect people with force of will, which we'll get into in a second, and holy crap, that is a huge rage. Oh man. Um, so let's take a look at some of his abilities here. I always start at level 1 just to get an idea of how they are in the initial laning phase, as well as how powerful their abilities are default wise. Um, so he does have a unique mount ability, which you can see right now. I am in Raven form, and instead of mounting, you'll transform into the Raven, and you'll get a 15% boost to movement speed, and you can fly anywhere you want. I can fly over walls, over bushes, trees, and you cannot be attacked by the enemy. So if I were to go all the way over to like the enemy camp, you'll notice that I cannot be attacked by anything. Now I believe you can still be attacked by the core, but who knows? I would have to test that in an actual game match. But obviously I'm not getting attacked by the keep or anything, not getting back by towers, and I won't be hit by any AoE spells or anything like that. So it's very, very useful, and I can't wait to see how it'll play out, especially in a competitive environment. So his first ability here is Arcane Rift. So Medivh will launch a rift that deals a little bit of tickle damage to enemies in a straight line path, so it hits everybody. And if you hit a hero with it, the cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds and you get some mana back in return. So normally it's 60 mana and 7 seconds. If you hit a hero, it's now 2 seconds and 30 mana. So pretty good. So it's kind of like a skill shot. You want to kind of get really good with the skill shotting. And I will actually keep this on just so I can test it out on the lane minions and things like that. So it's probably going to be like more of a poking tool, keeping people a little bit at bay. Maybe you can use it to lane. We'll find out. But as you can see, it's only doing 189, and even on like mercs and stuff, I mean, his basic attack is what 68, so he's not going to be used for merking and probably laning just as well as like Chromie does, which is terrible. His second ability again is Force of Will. So for 50 mana, you protect an ally from all damage for 1.5 seconds. Now, that's insanely good. And I can see people setting up some sick plays and counter plays with it. Now, the range on this, I didn't realize the range on this, but it is huge. You can protect people from way in the back of your team, which is pretty cool. And, if you look at the range of this and this, they're, at least semi-identical, so you'll still be able to kind of poke at people a little bit while offering Force of Will. Now, his third ability is Portal, so you'll be able to create a set of portals between you and a target location. So I believe it has to be within this range. So you'll see these two bars here, and it'll have to be somewhere in between this donut that's going around him right here. So you place the initial one wherever you want to teleport to, say like in these shrubs, and the other one will automatically spawn right where you are. And then right clicking will obviously teleport you between the two. Now the cooldown on it is normally 20 seconds, so it's fairly long. You won't be able to spam it, but you can obviously set up cool plays, or if your teammates are about to get ganked or something, and you see them down here, you can give them a way out, or a way forward if you're, obviously because they can't go through shrubs like you can. So it's more for the enemy, for your team, rather than you yourself, because you do take a little bit of time to go into Raven form, but that is kind of like your escape as well. You can also use it to, um, perform your own ganks. So if your team is like gonna gank somebody or waiting, you can obviously set it, wherever you want behind the enemy team and cut them off or pinch them, do like a cool flanking maneuver or something. Now that doesn't actually last that long. 6 seconds, yeah, that could be pretty fast, but it is a nice tool And obviously, if you're like heading over here and somebody's about to like intercept you or something, I don't know. Maybe you'll make a play off of it. Um, I did notice it takes a channeling time as well, so you probably could get interrupted if you're not careful. Or you could play mind games, but you know. Um, so yeah, 20 seconds, 75. His mana initially is 50. I would have to see how Fairy he does in the laning phase to see if he'll run out of mana if you're spamming these. Now obviously you're not going to be spamming Portal or Force of Will that often. Seeing as how, well, it's only 5 seconds, so that's not bad. You should be able to spam it. It does hit minions. His range is pretty close, I guess. But in like a realistic sense, let me turn off the cooldowns here. In a realistic sense, if you're laning with him, you want to, watch out for ganks, obviously. Um, keep an eye on where the enemy is. Maybe you're attacking them, maybe you're just clearing out the minions or hitting the back row. But you probably want to keep tagging him while you're in between the minions and him so that you can clear both the minions and get that cooldown and mana reduction. That's probably the best way to do it. But if you have like another ranged person you're fighting, you're probably going to want to stay, away. Now, can this be cast on yourself? Yes, it can. All right, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so if you're laning with him, I'd advise you to try and tag a hero while you're hitting the back line or any other minions so you can keep that cooldown going. And he should be okay. It looks like he's kind of decent. Obviously he's not going for me, but that's another thing entirely. But look, I mean, like with two lanes, that was like half my mana, so I don't know. And his regen is, yeah, 3. It's all right. Okay, so let's take a look at some of his abilities. So at level 1, Mana Adept increases your Rift's mana refund for hitting enemy heroes by 100. So now you can lane for free. So essentially, it doesn't matter um, whenever you cast this, as long as you hit a hero, you're going to get the full refund mana back instead of 30. Then you got Stable Portal. So it increases the duration by 50%. So right now it's 6. So you're looking at 9 seconds, which is a lot longer. I would probably say that's pretty decent. You can place both portal locations, and your Raven form increases your mana regen. So right now I said it was at 3. So that could actually be fairly good too. So if you're over here spamming abilities, um, I could see Raven Intellect being pretty good. Or if there's other Raven talents. I did not look at any of these because I like to figure them out for myself. But Portal Mastery could be pretty good. So like I said, uh, when you're casting your portal, you can only choose where the final location is, but now you'll be able to place the initial and the final. That's pretty cool. So initial is like if you're going to rescue a teammate and you're like, hey teammate, here's a shortcut. Now you can do that and you don't have to have it right near you. That's pretty good. I like that. I could see that being picked quite often. The duration could be pretty good too, but if you're really good with picking and choosing when you use it, you shouldn't really have to worry about this too much. And I could see people taking Mana Adept as well as Raven's Intellect. So I like the mana regen um, and the refund. Those could be pretty good. But obviously pick a bunch of them. So we'll go Mana Adept for right now. And let's also level up all the way to 10. That's the next jump I do. So here we are, level 10. Let's go take Mana Adept. Okay, at level 4, we got Mage Armor. So allies gain block the first time they use a portal, and it reduces the damage for the next 3 hero attacks by 50%. So that's pretty good. Bird's Eye View permanently increases your vision range by 25, and you activate to increase the bonus to 200 for 5 seconds. Oh, wow. And Dust of Appearance, activate to reveal enemy heroes in the area surrounding Medivh for 10. Does not cancel Raven form. Well, how big's that area? Well, let's find out. Okay, so you can see right here my Fog of War vision. Um, like for instance, um, I can, you know, barely see the dummy here as well as the other dummy. Um, and if we go with bird's eye view, so it increases by 25. There it increased. So it was at the very edge and now it's a little bit bigger. And we gain an activatable ability, so it'll increase the bonus by 200% for 5 seconds. So obviously you can see like over bushes and things, and if you're going to spot an enemy like in camping or something, you can cast it, and now instantly your vision is like your whole fucking screen, it looks like. Holy crap. Yeah, that's pretty good. And the cooldown is 30 seconds, so you should be able to activate that fairly often, especially when you're in birds, your Raven form. Now the other ability was Dust of Appearance, so your normal vision radius is pretty shitty. Okay, so it's half. That's so weird, but it's half the vision of your human form. So if I were to go to human form, watch it. See? It's shrunk. Wow. All right. That's I could see people taking bird's eye view just to, negate that effect because this is fairly minimal. But anyway, Dust of Appearance. So you cast it and it activates to reveal the area surrounding you for 10 seconds. And it doesn't cancel your Raven form, just like the other ability, just like Bird's Eye View. So you could get a normal increase in your radius and an activatable 30-second ability for the whole screen, or every 45 seconds you can activate everything around you to reveal. So I guess if you've got stealth characters, you'd probably want to take Dust of Appearance. And if you have anybody else, you would probably just take Bird's Eye View. Because that's the only reason I can see people taking this ability is for stealth characters, which could probably wreck Medivh, to be honest. Yeah, you could, force a will yourself if somebody like attaches to you, like a Zeratul, but you probably won't be able to escape with Raven form because if he attacks you, it's going to cancel it. So, yeah, I could see it being fairly useful. And then obviously it casts like a reveal and it's this big circle around him. So all right, I could see that being picked if there's stealth characters. I have noticed a lot of Novas starting to appear in Quick Match specifically. Um, and the other ability was Mage Armor, which is a block. So every time they use your portal, um, when you go through the portal, I think it's just your allies. So it's not you. So when an ally goes through, like if you're using, an Illidan or somebody or Thrall, they'll pick up a block, which might even stack with their own block talents, and it lasts for 5 seconds for 3. So that's pretty good actually. So I could see these two being picked the majority of the time, and this one being very, very situational. So we'll just take Bird's Eye View here. Level 7, Arcane Charge. So when it damages a hero, the next Arcane Rift does 25% more damage. All right, so if you were to take that level 1 talent, couple it with this one, you'll basically be doing slightly more damage the more you hit heroes, and you'll keep getting that mana back. So that's pretty good. So it's really, really good for poking, even though, I wouldn't recommend getting really close with Medivh because he only has 2100, so not that much. Master's Touch is a quest ability, so you hit enemies with your Arcane Rift without dying. Um, and when you reach it, you'll gain extra 100 damage and a reduction by hitting a hero by 1 second. So then it becomes every 1 second. It's on a 1 second cooldown. That's pretty good. That's that could be pretty good. Now, obviously, you have to hit 35 without dying. Hmm. All right. Arcane Explosion. The first time Force of Will absorbs damage, it deals 271 to nearby enemies. Okay, so when you cast it on somebody, as soon as they take damage, the first time they take damage, it'll do damage to nearby enemies. So um, I imagine it's kind of like a Burning Rage radius, maybe, where they have to be like semi-close. Um, and if you're fighting a lot of ranged characters, this probably isn't going to help you. I would assume this is better if for using on tanks and characters that'll dive to do that extra damage. I mean, 271 is not that bad, and every 5 seconds you can maybe spam it because this will cost nothing if you go with these initial talents. So you're looking at just Force of Will being your primary mana consumption, and every 5 seconds you'll be able to also, deal 270. That's not bad. And then a Raven Familiar joins allies that use a portal, The Raven will dive at the ally's next basic attack target for damage. So this seems like it might be even better for ranged characters. So this is like for ranged, this is for tanks, this is for you, and this is for poking, I guess. All right, that's not bad. We'll take Master's Touch here just to see what that will look like if you build it up. I wonder if all those ticks actually work on this practice dummy. Yeah, they do. That's cool. So right now it's 270 damage at level 10. Obviously, you pick this at level 7, but I just want to see what it'll be like. I wish they would let you, do your quests, all the time, but whatever. So in the meantime, level 10, we got Polybomb and a Leyline Seal. So if you've been watching any vids, you should kind of have a familiar idea of what they're like. So Polybomb is you cast it on more for groups that are going to be stacked or not as spread out, like a lot of tanks, like especially if you got duo tank builds or anybody with a lot of CC that's going to be close to you, like Johanna's and things like that. It could be really useful. Um, and Leyline Seal, which is a spread shot here. I'm almost there. Okay, so I just reached it. So it was 270, now it's doing 370. And if we take off the cooldown reduction, wow, it's like you have this on permanently. That's pretty cool. And you're getting all your mana back every time you cast it. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's go with Polybomb. So when it hits an enemy hero, it obviously polys them. And then in 2 seconds, it'll spread to any nearby enemy that is touching it. Now, oh, that sucks. It sucks that you can't test this really because you only have one bot in this map. Um, but obviously, this is the radius of casting. Fairly close. It's kind of the same as Polymorph on Brightwing. And when you cast it, they'll be polyed for 2 seconds. And then if they're nearby another hero, it'll spread that poly indefinitely if it keeps chaining. So um, obviously it's better for grouped up enemies and things like that. Now, the cooldown is every 40 seconds, so that's fairly low, really, for such a good poly ability for grouping. Um, yeah, that was for Master's Touch. I like that. I like Master's Touch. But yeah, hitting 35 without dying might be a little tricky. And then Leyline Seal is the other alt. So same mana, but this is 80 seconds, which is double. And after a small channel time, you'll unleash a wave of energy that imprisons them in stasis for 3 seconds. So let's see what the actual line looks like. Holy crap, it's your full screen. That's cool. Yeah, you'll definitely be able to, hit people from the back lines, stasis them up, protect your guys, uh, you know, have a portal if you want to like get behind them. I could actually, yeah, I could see people using that more for flanking than anything else. Can this be damaged? I wonder. I wonder if that can actually be damaged by anything to make it like lowered. I don't know. I'd have to test that in an actual match. But yeah, Leyline Seal, pretty wicked, pretty easy to avoid if you're on the tail end of that. Um, but for stasis for 3 seconds could set up some cool plays. So, all right, let's skip all the way to level 20. Uh, all right, so let's just take Polybomb for right now. So level 13, we got Quickening, so it reduces the cooldown on your portals by half. So right now it's 20 seconds, so every 10 seconds, your portal range is increased by 50. Holy crap. I mean, I already looked at it being fairly good. And Wings of Celerity increases your movement speed by 100. Holy crap. All right, well, all right, so this is my normal movement speed on the Raven. Okay, this is with Winds of Celerity. Oh, wow. Yeah, all right. That could be pretty good. Um, then obviously the cooldown might be pretty good too, but I think this one might be even more popular. So, oh man, I can't even see it now. It's ridiculous. Holy crap. And if you went with that stable portal, the duration, the block technique, where's the one where you can choose where you want it to go? Portal mastery? Yeah. Oh man, I could see that being so good. You could basically just like, you know, portal and have people do whatever they want. Now that's interesting how when you're in shrubs, you can't cast anything because obviously you'll come out of Raven form and get stuck in the game. So makes sense, I guess. Wow, that's cool though. I could see, yeah, that's pretty good, especially if you go with a portal build. I'll have to test that out. I'll have to test out like each builds and see which one I like better and for which comps. Okay, level 16, we got Circle of Protection. So an untalented Force of Will will also apply to allies near the target. So this is better for if you're, obviously in a duo comp, um, and you're going to be grouped up or something for your own team. So you can cast it and nearby targets near it, um, uh, all allies. So you could have multiple shields going off. Wow, that's cool. Enduring Will increases Force of Will's duration by 33. So it lasted 1.5 seconds. So you're looking at, a solid 2 seconds. I mean, maybe that'll be really good for those longer AoEs or things like that to help protect. But I think this might be even better. And Reabsorb upon expiring, Force of Will heals the target for 50%. Oh man, okay, never mind. This is probably going to be the go-to talent. This is ridiculous. Um, Especially if they're using like an alt or something on you and you pop it, you or your allies, that could be really good. So, just to kind of show it off here, because I will take this one. Let's take some damage here and pop it. And every time it damages us, then it heals us a little bit more. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Um, okay, level 20, Glyph of Polybomb. So it explodes 1 second sooner and the spread radius is increased. So this is even better than the normal version, obviously. Medivh Cheats increases the duration of the status effect by 33, and you gain the ability to redirect the wave once it's active. Oh, we'll have to try that. We will have to try that. This just seems really good too. They're all really good. Blizzard's just doing such a good job with making all these talents very, very good. Uh, so it lasts for 4 seconds instead of three, and you can redirect it. So how do you redirect it? Oh! Oh, that's awesome. Oh, wow. We need to toggle that. Oh, man. So even if they avoid it, like a Vala or somebody dodging it, like let's say I cast it, and I miss, then I can swoop back and still catch him in it. And then he's still in the stasis for, what is it? 4 seconds? Oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. All right, what else do we have here? Oops. Um, None of these really matter. Guardian of Tirisfal. Minions and catapults hit by the rift are instantly killed. All right. So, if you're not good or satisfied with his wave clear or have terrible wave clear at this level, um, or even if like your keeps are gone and you need help clearing out those catapults or something, um, this take it, I guess. I mean, I didn't really see how much damage it was doing now at level 20 anyway. Let's find out. So against normal minions and stuff, it's like a third of their health. And if you, well, if I didn't have that on, but I mean, I don't think he really needs it. I mean, I'm clearing them out fast anyway, especially if you go for those other talents or something. I don't know. You may take it if you want. Arcane Brilliance, so activatable ability, 60-second cooldown, and you'll restore mana to all nearby heroes, and they get 10% ability power. Wow. Okay, that could be pretty good too. 200 mana. So, I mean, even for me, you know, that's close to a third. That's pretty good. And it's every 60 seconds, so you could usually cast it once per every team fight that comes up, assuming you're not doing skirmishes. All right. And invisibility, so a new ability for 40, 10 seconds, stealth an allied hero for 20 seconds? What? What? And you get 2 charges? Oh, that the range is pretty good too. Oh man. That's where's my ally? Get over here. Wow. He's gonna be one of those like very technical characters. Yeah. So if he's in trouble, stealth him out of there. Yeah. Obviously we're not gonna need it because he keeps attacking, but you get the idea. And it's every 10 seconds, you know. Wow. I mean, and you've got 2 charges, so you're pretty much always going to have that. Wow. I would say even if you had like so many assassins could desperately need that for offensive and defensive purposes. Yeah, that's pretty good. And I'm getting them all the time. Yeah. Not to mention the poly bombs or the ley lines. Oh man, I could see people devastating teams with Medivh. I could see people really being good with him once they practice and stuff. That's pretty good. Even Arcane Brilliance, like I said, is really good if you got a lot of you expend all your mana, you got somebody like Avala or somebody who's spending out mana and needs extra CCing or something, or your Muradins or whoever. I mean, even if you had Malfurion on your team who normally gives you that mana regen, this just outpowers that, I think. Is it 20 seconds, I think, on his mana regen? It's something like that. Something about somewhere between 10 and 20 seconds, I think, but this is all teammates near you, and it gives them ability power 10%, which is not much, but it'll add up. Um, this I don't think people will take as often, especially in competitive play. You won't need it. Um, this I could see being really powerful, and this I could see being really powerful, depending on which one you took. So it looks like people are going to go with either these two or any of these two. Probably invisibility. That could get really freaking annoying, I could see. So anyway, what kind of comps and things do I think he works best in? Um, I think he will not fill the role of an actual specialist, like with sieging and things like that, because obviously Blizzard changed how those roles are defined, kind of, and they're more about the kits, which they always should be. So I think people will use him for anti-dive comps. You can use him for both anti-dive or if your team is going to be diving too, because you can set up some wicked combos with either Polybomb for defensive purposes or Leyline Seal for offensive purposes. His Raven form is going to be super important. People will probably try different Raven builds and things like that to get more vision or just, have that speed boost like I've got now. So you could theoretically even portal for your team. Keep in mind that there is a cooldown on using it, but you could portal for your team to kind of cut off the enemy, and they can use that while you keep spying or go after like maybe the teammates or things like that on what they're doing. So it seems like if you're a Medivh player, you're going to be very busy either spying for your team, providing portals, invisibilities for escapes, setting up combos so you'll want to be with your team if they're going to be in team fights, obviously. Um, to negate certain alts. So he's a good counter to a lot of characters that have very specific alts, and he can protect your tanks or protect any fragile heroes or your group with Force of Will. And he can poke people with his Arcane Rift and Rift talents. So I think he'll be pretty widely used and could kind of fit almost every single comp at the moment. Um, I have a feeling he will go very far in the game to come. So anyway, that's it for my thoughts on Medivh, and I will see you guys next time. Oh, you know what? We didn't check out what his dances and stuff are. What's his taunt? All right, cool. See you guys later. Damn it, Shorty!